So I'm curious what your thoughts are in terms of what the risks are when we don't use the system-centered language. And, you know, the examples that come to mind are like death versus murder, historical versus current. Like,
Mhm.
what do you see as being a problem in that?
Yeah, yeah. Another one I'll throw in there is disproportionate. Now, if you're a statistician, disproportionate means, there's a uncanny finding in the data when one proportion came out larger than the other, and that's
Right.
something to look into. But usually, disproportionate means, oh, this group it has more prevalence than another group. So, um, Black women have a disproportionate infant mortality rate, right? I think when it's used in that case, disproportionate is the signature of the system. There's
Mhm.
some system why Black moms are having these types of deaths, right? Why
Right.
do we have more diabetes? These types of things. So when we don't call a spade, the main risk is that we still live with these blinders on, right?
Right.
And then we're not putting any energies to actually pulling this up by the root and actually solving what's going on. It's not historic, it's present. It's not disproportionate, it's systemic, right?
Right.
Because when you hear disproportionate, it's like, oh, it's too bad for that group. But when you hear systemic, you're like, oh, snap, something's being done onto them. And
Right.
could it be that this thing that's being done onto them could not be done onto them? Now you're on the right track. So the
Yeah.
biggest risk is that no awareness, no energy gets put into solving the problem.
Right.
And
I that perfect example, and I can never remember the name of the author, but with the infant mortality rate, they looked at first, second, and third generation immigrants who had immigrated from different parts of like Africa, different parts of I want to say Haiti, and there's different countries and different islands, and they looked at what time point do you start to notice changes in the infant mortality rate, just with immigrants. 1 year, I think, was the not 1 year, 1 generation was the amount of time. So for an immigrant who immigrated to the States and then had a child, that child's experience of being in this country and being identified as Black increased their infant mortality rate significantly. And so when you think of like, what is it about Black people or that community, it's not just the people, it's the systems. And so I love that that article came out, and I'm so sorry that I can't remember the name of it.
That's all right. I'm going to look forward.
I'll definitely look for that.